I wanted to real quick just say that funding your business and your startup is not always going to cost a lot of money, right? You're not going to need a ton of money. You're not going to need a $40,000 investment right off the bat. You know, I will say that the only time a startup is going to cost an initial chunk of change is if you're creating something new and you need to develop prototypes and establish patents, or your company depends on having some sort of inventory. So when you go to order something like a custom product from a manufacturer overseas, they're going to give you something called an MOQ, which is the minimum order quantity. So if I'm going to make a custom t-shirt, if I'm going to have somebody else make me a custom t-shirt, they're going to say, sure, I'll make you a custom t-shirt, but you have to order at least 200. That's an MOQ. So in those cases, sure, I can understand how a startup might cost a lot of money. I've personally invested in startups that have had those, particulars. But starting a company, especially an online business, it doesn't cost as much as you think. But I go into startup cost and kind of understanding what your financial plan is going to be in the financial plan section. But in the resource section below, I'm going to include each type of funding that there is. So there's self-funding, so that's you funding your own business. There's crowdfunding, where you raise money through campaigns on websites like Kickstarter. And then there's, angel investment and venture capitalists, which I don't really recommend, because usually in exchange for that funding, that individual or company is going to want a piece of your organization. So they'll say, sure, I'll give you the $40,000 so you can order inventory, but I want 50% of your company. It's the foundation of the Shark Tank show. So keep that in mind. I would say if it was me and if I was starting a business and I knew I had a really big upfront cost and I couldn't cover it myself through self-funding, I would look to Kickstarter, and then I would look to business loans. But that's just me. I don't like to give up a stake in my business until I absolutely have to, or unless I can leverage the experience of that angel investor. So if I was going to start a jersey company where I'm making custom jerseys and Mark Cuban wanted to invest, yeah, absolutely, take 50% of my company, because now I can leverage his connections and his experience. So there's a give and take, but I discuss more of those little nuances in the resource section below.